here to acknowledge our dear friend Don Holmes tonight. I've always been tremendously impressed by Don. He's always the consummate professional. In his manner, his speech, his style, his grooming, and especially his dress. Well, I've never actually seen him in dress, but we won't go there. As a matter of fact, Don has always been a subject of intense curiosity. Now, if you look close, you'll note that in every picture you've ever seen of Don, he's always looks magnificently well turned out. Perfectly coiffed. Nikki, that means they got a haircut? You know? Yeah, okay, just, you know. And especially, there's never a hair out of place. And that began to gnaw at me. I mean, something wasn't right here. We've all been out on climbs, and neat is definitely not the word that we would use to apply to our appearance after a couple of days on the mountain. But Don always looks so good. Now, being a curious sort, nosy, I began to dig into the club archives. Thank you, John. And what I found was just amazing. In every single picture of Don, without exception, he stands there looking perfect. On the top of Denali, on wind-blown slopes, in whiteouts. Everyone else looks like death sucking on a pickle in the middle of a tornado. Sort of like Craig Nolan looks all the time. But there's Don, looking like he's having a martini, or I'm sorry, a scotch and soda in a fancy Manhattan restaurant. And I begin to wonder, how does he do that? Does he climb with a hairdresser? Nikki, that's never mind. Did he have Photoshop on his computer before anybody else knew about it? You know, something smelled rotten in Colorado, so I decided to do a Sherlock Holmes investigation, though I looked a lot better than that guy. I had a theory, but no evidence on how to get it. Now, some of you may recall that I was able to climb with Don several years ago on Gannett Peak to place Jack's ashes. And while he and Rick Hartman were debating the proper route, I had my chance. Don, you don't know this, but while you and Rick were crashing through the woods figuring out the route, I went through your backpack.
You're not the first.
And we'll get to that later. And what I found, frankly, so shocked me that I was barely able to make the climb that day. Say it wasn't so, Don, I thought. Say you haven't been living a lie all these years, I prayed. But there it was, buried deep in his pack. The proof! And now I can, indeed I must, put this myth of sartorial splendor to rest once and for all. Yes, as much as it pains me to say this, I must reveal the truth. Don Holmes is completely, totally, absolutely bald. There is not a follicle to be found in that famous craggy profile. There in his pack was the evidence. A perfectly formed, beautifully silver gray, elegantly molded wig. A grand toupee, every hair assembled with surgeon's skill and executed in exquisite detail. That was Dave's back. I don't think so.
What was the market doing in the pack?
But further investigation revealed even more the depth and cleverness of Don's fiendish desire, some would say fetishist desire, but I wouldn't go there, to hide the truth. My research also revealed that you never saw pictures of Don with a climbing helmet. Did you ever think about that? You ever see Don in a helmet? Never.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you know, he just took his helmet off and carefully combed Dave, comb, that's, something you use for hair. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. And he groomed himself before the picture was taken. But no, my friends, Don, in his cleverness as well as his wily guile, looked good and saved weight at the same time. This elegant and undoubtedly expensive cranial mask, I wondered about all those old budgets where I saw these large entries for incidentals, but, wasn't going to ask about that. This incredible head covering was made from, are you ready for it? Yes, Kevlar. Don Holmes wore his own custom hair camouflage helmet. He didn't need to carry an external brain bucket. He had it. A few dabs of super glue before he climbed. Yes, Don, I found that in your pack as well. And the deception was complete. Don. It's so sad. We probably would have loved you just as much if you had just told the truth, but no. You've lived a double life all these years. But why, I asked myself, why would he do this incredible deception? After I talked to your psychiatrist, I conclusively proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that you could just not stand the fact that your fellow Coloradoan, John Mitchler, with his marvelous facelift and his tummy tuck, to say nothing of his questionable attendance counting techniques and just proved so much better, looked so much better than you did on all those summit photos. You just couldn't stand it, could you, Don? Peak envy is such a terrible thing. It's so beneath you. For shame, Don. Now, as your president, I felt I just had to set a new standard for honesty and integrity. Therefore, I, sadly but resolutely, felt duty-bound to reveal this terrible stain of deceit and corruption that has contaminated the Highpointers Club records from its earliest days. And so there it is. The devil has now been exorcised. A new era of truth, justice, and the American way has illuminated the sacred records of the club. And whether Don wishes to admit it or not, has also illuminated his naked scalp. All that remains is for Don to publicly confess to the truth based on the evidence placed before him and to humbly request forgiveness from the club and indeed from society at large. Just do it, Don. And if you do, I promise not to mention about the whips, the chains, and the other interesting things I found in your backpack, okay? Just do it, Don. Yeah, that's why your pack was heavy. Just do it, Don. You'll be a better, if bolder, man for it. I rest my case. Seriously, I'm immensely proud to have known and worked with Don for many years now. He's a true founding father, a mentor, and a guide for this club, and I'm honored to call him my dear friend and colleague. And Don, I want until now, yes. I want to thank you for everything, including being such a good sport tonight. And by the way, your motion to have me banned from the club is hereby denied with extreme prejudice, and I don't give a damn about your Robert's Rules of Order.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, Don needs a drink. Who's going to buy him his next one? Secondly,
I already got it.
we limited people to 2 minutes, okay? Apparently, Sutton has trouble with numbers. That's why Wisconsin beat Ohio 4 years ago. On a serious note, our bartender, Nicole, who I just happened to see over there, asked me, she wants to become a member of the Highpointers Club. She wants to know how to join. Nolan, where are you, buddy? Where's the membership guide? Now, our next roaster is our youngest roaster of the night, but he is here for one reason, and that's because His birthday is the same day as Don Holmes. Ben, would you please come up? And I want you to sit right here on Don's table.
Here you go, Ben. Sit right here.
Here you go. Hold on. Let me check. Let me edit his. He's okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is my nephew, Ben. Don, Ben, and I are all born on January 29th. Ben was born on January 29th. What year? 2000? 2000. I was born on January 29th in 1979.
Yeah.
And Don Holmes was born on January 29th, 1822. Ben, here you go. It's your stage, buddy.
Top 10 reasons why Don Holmes is the banquet MC. Number 10, the price is right. Nobody else will do it for nothing. Number 9, few Highpointers can digest their food without hearing Don call out raffle numbers. Number 8, he signed an exclusive 40-year deal when the club started. Number 7, it's required by the local Bar and Tavern Association. Nobody can tell, number 6, nobody can tell a Sherlock Holmes joke like Don. I don't write them, I just read them. Number 5, Don would never pass up an opportunity to promote his High Point book. Number 4, free drinks. Number 3, he keeps drawing the short straw. Number 2, he lost a bet on the correct spelling of cadaver.
Wait, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 reason, Ben, tell them.
Why Don Holmes is the banquet MC. I said posse.
Thank you, Ben. Also, I have another couple of announcements to make. I see Tom Carchisi out here tonight. Tom, I forgot to thank you for the fine door prizes you donated. Thank you for the 8 pairs of used hiking socks. Just one criticism, if I may, Tom. Next time, wash them before you donate them. You know, John Keeter left tonight, and John's a great guy. John really did a heck of a lot for us to, make this convention take place, and this is a true story. I told John we wanted to comp his dinner tonight, and John said no. I'm totally serious. John gave us a check. Where's Gene? We got a check from, am I right? We got a check from John Keeter for $40 tonight to come to the dinner only. Okay? And I said to John, why did you have to give us a check? He said, it is a violation of the Ethics Acts of the state of New Jersey not to pay for it. Apparently, John is the only government official that